Hello and welcome back to Planet Doug. It's a Saturday here in Mae Sot, and I'm heading out on my scooter for something of a casual trip. Despite being here in Mae Sot as long as I have been, there are still quite a few things around the town and the countryside here that I haven't seen. And there's one temple in particular that I've always been interested in checking out, and that's all I'm doing today. The temple is maybe 17 kilometers outside of Mae Sot in the countryside, and I'm just on the scooter going to ride out there and check this place out. There's actually a lot of information about this temple online. They even have quite an elaborate website that will show up in English. I'll put a link to their website in the description. But even after reading everything on the website and tracking down all the information I can, I'm not entirely confident I know a whole lot about this temple. Like even the name of it. I see so many different names for this temple, particularly if you go back in time. It seems to have been known by a variety of different names. But one name that pops up, like even on the website, it's called the Thai Unity Temple. But then it has a range of different names in English and in Thai. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on. However, it does seem to be a fairly unique kind of place. It has a lot of strong community ties. It has won a lot of awards for community activity, environmental activity. It even won an award for the nicest bathrooms, I assume, at a certain type of temple. Anyway, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of different buildings as well, a lot of different shrines. According to the website, they have guides available if you wanted to track down a guide. Anyway, there's a lot going on here, and I've always wanted to drop by the place and check it out for myself. It's a bit tricky getting to this temple just because it's on the other side of the highway, and when you check on Google Maps, it says I have to go all the way to Mae Ramad in the north and do a U-turn and come all the way back down in order to go to the other side of the road because it's a divided highway. But I'm sitting right at there's a U-turn here, and I see a road off to my right, and right here on my left, there's a sign for some kind of temple. There's the sign. I can't read it, of course, but it looks like a well-known temple, and it's telling me to do a U-turn, so that's what I'm going to do. But one thing that struck me already just coming out here is it always surprises me how nice the countryside is. I mean, you just step a couple of kilometers outside of Mae Sot, and this is the the kind of scenery that you're looking at. You know, maybe it doesn't come across on the GoPro that much, but you get some really nice hills and farming countryside. And I'm taking a little bit of a risk coming out today because there's another big weather system, and it's threatening a lot of rain over all of Thailand. So you can see that the skies are covered in clouds. So here's my U-turn. And who knows, maybe there will be signs taking me all the way to the temple from here. I always love a good U-turn in Thailand. Okay, here's the road that I spotted. And when you see a lot of these flags, that often means a temple as well, like the yellow ones that you see here. Not quite sure what they mean, but I often see them on roads leading to temples, like well-known temples. Yeah, I love coming out in the countryside on the scooter around Mae Sot. You wouldn't think it if you're sitting inside the town itself, you know, that there'd be so many interesting areas right around this town, but yeah, like check that out. You know, check out that scenery. It's gorgeous here. And just takes a very short amount of time and you're right at the base of these hills that enclose this whole farming area. And the rain is always threatening this time of year, but in exchange, you get this beautiful greenery everywhere. There are interesting things going on in Thailand, by the way. I think it was just yesterday that the government announced that they're removing most of the last remaining COVID restrictions. They've had a system here in Thailand where to come to Thailand, you had to apply for what they call the Thailand Pass. And the Thailand Pass had a whole bunch of requirements, including, you know, all the usual vaccinations and testing and downloading the app, you know, upload. Oh, I think I'm at the corner. Okay, this is looking promising. Huh, look at that. They even have a on tour sign. I doubt very much that any of the tours are in English, or how you would even get one of them. But here's quite a large sign. Again, I think this is referring to the temple. Not positive about it, but I think so. But also as part of the Thailand Pass, in order to qualify for the pass, you also had to present proof of health insurance with specific coverage for COVID-19, and apparently all that is gone as of July 1st. They're going to be removing the Thailand Pass requirement on July the 1st, and also removing the requirement for this specific type of health insurance. And they're also removing the mask mandate for outdoors as of July 1st. As far as I understand the announcement, you don't have to wear a mask outdoors in Thailand anymore. But again, it's really kind of interesting because as I was riding here, I passed one very famous restaurant that was completely shut down, and they have a sign outside, you know, because of COVID, they're closed. And I noticed that places like photocopy shops are also still kind of closed. I was just stopped outside of a photocopy shop where, you know, you can get photocopies and print things from computers, and they have a rope across the front, and basically customers are not allowed to go inside because of COVID. So you still have a lot of these restrictions in place out in the countryside in these small towns, even though, you know, the government is busy removing all these restrictions, you still see them. Well, I think we have arrived. Ah, okay. So I think that's the entrance to the temple up ahead. And as I said, there are a variety of buildings here, and each building seems to look quite different. So this should be quite interesting. And I think this parking lot over here is connected to the temple as well. Some more signage for the temple. And I saw on Google Maps, it was listed as being quite busy right now. You know, as busy as it ever gets. Meaning, I guess there are a fair number of visitors here right now. As always, I just like to kind of ride around the area or walk around the area and get my bearings before I go inside. So here's the outer wall of the temple. And right there, you know, you can see that quite unusual building spire right there. I think it's a very unique type of building as well. They seem to have quite a mix here. Want to see where this road goes. Beautiful setting for this temple. It's right on the edge of all this pristine farming area. And from what I read, the temple has a very complicated history. And the founding date, I think, is 1939. Though there could easily have been a temple here long before that. Oh, okay. I have to spin the scooter around to get the camera facing in this direction. Get a nice view of this special building. And I think all these individual buildings kind of lead to my confusion about the name of the place, because I think each building inside the main complex has a different name, and each one is like a different place of worship. So you often see the name, and you think it's the name of the whole temple complex, but it's actually the name of that one building. The road goes all the way around to here, and basically takes me inside the temple grounds. Looks like I'm getting a bit lucky with the weather. The sun has come out a little bit. Okay. The road seems to stop here, so I'm going to turn around and go back and park the scooter and then go for a walk. Okay, I parked the scooter. They have a convenient scooter parking area right over there behind me. And yeah, this seems to be the entrance to the temple. Car parking area is over there. And this is the main gate. And one of the main signs right at the front. There's an interesting sign. Something about cats and dogs. And I don't know. These I thought at first it was something about cats catching rats. Because I thought this one down here was a rat or something, but that's another very evil looking cat. So we've got a bunch of very dangerous looking cats here. And dead dogs. Look at this poor fellow here. And then there's another one down here being savaged by a cat. So what in the world could this be about? Like, beware of feral cats? I'm gonna have to try to do a Google Translate on that. I couldn't get a translation of this sign, except it says something about this week cats bite the dog to death. So I'm not sure why it's telling people that. It might be saying, you know, beware of the cats. They're so dangerous. They kill dogs, or don't feed the cats, or I have no idea. Anyway, here's an interesting display right at the entrance to the temple. The roosters and the gongs. As you can see, it's pretty popular today. Quite a few families here. There is a lot going on at this temple, as I said. There's even more happening than I thought. And they often have interesting things for visitors, particularly for children, you know, to sit here for a selfie with a bunny Minnie Mouse. And this is some sort of a Japanese anime character, right? I don't know the name. But you get that sort of thing mixed in with all kinds of other objects. Some waterfalls. And what always strikes me at these temples is how popular they are with young people, surprisingly so. You know, I just saw some young children there being very excited to come to the temple. And I saw 3 young boys, or young men, you know, teenagers, riding up on their scooter, and they parked their scooter out there. And these 3 young boys, you know, teenage friends, what do they do on a Saturday when they have free time? They come to the temple. And that, yeah, it's kind of interesting. That a place like this would be attractive to teenagers. Let's see what's going on over here. I'm always looking for information. So if I see any kind of a sign. It's all in Thai, unfortunately. But this is probably connected with their environmental activities. As I said, this temple is very active in the community with environmental concerns and things like that. Look at that. Not sure what's going on here. Variety of license plates. Another interesting display. I wasn't sure if it was possible to go inside this shrine or this temple, but there's a doorway here. So after we walk around it, I'll be able to go to the inside. I was a little bit concerned about coming here in terms of how to dress, because with recent trips that I've taken, my clothing is a little bit worse for wear. My sandals are all torn to pieces, and my clothing is kind of dirty and a little bit torn up. I have to go shopping for some new clothes, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. But I've noticed a lot of the local people have come here in shorts and kind of sporty, casual clothing. So people here aren't really dressed up. So I'm okay, I think, in my bedraggled clothing. The one thing I've noticed about temples in Thailand in general is how much of it is always under construction. You see piles of construction material everywhere, scaffolding, and I was thinking of that because you've got these guys here mixing up some cement because they're building this new shrine. And then this whole area in the back that I already rode my scooter through is full of construction material, building material, tools. But yeah, you see a lot of construction going on at temples all the time. They're never really finished. There's always something being built. And here's the requisite fish pond. I don't see anyone feeding the fish though. But if I see any place where I can buy fish food, I'll get some. It's a beautiful building, this one. Very well taken care of. Looks quite new, in fact. And let's head into the interior. Guess you can make a donation and get a candle here. Light your candle down here. Yeah, the look of this place and the statues makes quite a bit of sense to me in a way. As you can see, it has a bit of a Hindu, Indianized flair to them. And I can't remember where I read it now, but this temple is connected to the Lanna Kingdom, a large historical kingdom that existed in northern Thailand. And if I remember right, the Lanna Kingdom was heavily Indianized. So you see a lot of Hindu influences in these temples. There's a second floor, but I don't know if it's open to the public. Oh, I wasn't expecting this, but there's a whole outdoor balcony up here on the second floor. Ah, this is nice. Get a nice view of the countryside as well. And just as I was walking around, I saw somewhere down there some kind of vending machine where I think you can get fish food. So I'll be doing that when I head down there. Wow, this is really nice. You can see all the different styles of buildings from up here. Of course, you have this style of architecture. And then this main building here, very much more traditionally Thai. And then a much more elaborate sort of structure over there. Let's take a look inside on the second floor. Oh, there's actually stairs going up even higher, but that's closed. So I think with a guide, I think you would learn a lot of interesting things about this temple. The meaning of all of these objects. And this looks like a dragon coming out of a turtle shell. And here's the vending machine that I saw. I don't see anyone feeding the fish, so perhaps it's broken. Yeah, it doesn't look to be operational. I assume if it was working, there would be some lights here. And it looks like they maybe had fish food here sometimes, but none today. And this is something I've seen in quite a few temples where they have a post office box, like a mailbox, and you can post letters to loved ones, you know, right there. It says send merit to lovers. So by sending this letter, you gain merit within the Buddhist system. And this is something I've seen in a couple of different places recently. And as it was explained to me, that these displays were asking for donations for the maintenance of grave sites for people, I guess, that couldn't afford that, or funeral services, or something like that. I don't know what's going on inside here. Oh, another shrine. But I saw some signs on the wall. Might have some information about the temple. The sign that I saw is a list of the abbots of this temple over the years. I always find these quite interesting as well. These large stones. And the idea is that you press gold leaf against them. I hadn't seen this before. This is new to me, where they're actually putting coins on top as well. I wish I had more to say as I was walking around this temple. There's so many interesting sights here. It's hard to take it all in. But again, for me, they're really just visual sights because I don't know what any of it means. But in general, you can sort of figure it out. Almost everything you see at the temple is designed for people to donate a little bit of money and perform a ritual, and then they gain merit or good fortune, you know, within the Buddhist system. So all the activities you see where you can light a candle, buy flowers, buy incense, and put them in different places. And it's all designed to, gain merit. But yeah, I'm here in another part of the temple that I saw from up above. Oh, there's that, that's where I just was. And then from up there, I saw this large statue. And then this very ornate building over here. I still haven't seen anywhere where they have any food for the fish. So the fish may go unfed today. And on the website, they also talked about maybe it's only on certain days of the week or certain times. They have some kind of a canteen or restaurant here where they serve food. I was thinking of that because I just saw sort of a counter over there. It looks like you can get drinks of some kind. Oh yeah, a little cafe, a little restaurant. But what I saw seemed to be more oriented towards the community or helping poor people. And I saw there's something about homestay possibilities. At the temple, they have some kind of accommodation here as well. The ceiling here is covered in these umbrellas. These are some other activities here where you can make a donation and then get one of these foil leaves that you can write a message on, or one of these bells, and then you can hang your bell up amongst the others. I've been keeping my eyes open for these dangerous cats. Oh, here, for example, I guess 100 baht, then you get this gold foil and perhaps some matches and incense. Yeah, I've been keeping my eyes open for the cats that the signs are about, and I did see one cat here. But, and then as I was looking at the cat, this dog came up near the cat, and I was expecting the cat to attack it or something. But the cat did what all cats do and ran away from the dog. Oh, I didn't notice this as I was walking through this area. There's an archway here, and the ceiling of the archway is all gold leaves as well. Down by the water again. And yeah, these women on the bridge, they seem to have found some fish food. And they were just feeding the fish down there. They look like catfish from a distance. There's so many interesting displays here. It makes me wonder about the history of them. Like, where do they all come from? Almost as if people connected with the temple can have any idea they want. Maybe pitch it to a committee, and then the committee decides whether it suits the temple. Because there's just such a range of things here. Like, look at this kind of a carriage with a little table and chairs and benches. And then over here, there's a well with a bucket. And there's water lines built into the log and pouring into the bucket down into the well. I mean, someone sometime had the idea to make this, and then I guess someone had to pay for it and build it, design it. It makes me wonder how all that comes about. As I said, there's such a variety of things here. They don't follow a single sort of pattern or style. I keep coming across more and more parts of this temple And they all come with questions and no answers, of course, because I don't really know what it is I'm looking at, but it's quite an unusual room. It's a whole series of throne-like chairs. They might have been the result of donations to the temple. That could be 10,000 baht. I see listed on each one. Perhaps each one is dedicated to one of the famous abbots or monks of the temple. Okay, it looks like 2 of these have been claimed with donations, and then the rest of them, oh no, these haven't been, there's no name on them yet. So I guess you could donate 10,000 baht to the temple and they would put your name here. This one has been claimed. And there appear to be, I'm guessing these are coffins. Not sure what else they could be. They all seem to be the size of coffins. There's like a lot of them, 36, 40 of them, I guess, in this stack. And with all those chairs over there, perhaps this area is used for funeral services that take place at the temple. One funny thing here is that the main area where I am right now, you're not required to remove your shoes, but so many parts of the temple, if you go into the shrine area, of course, there are signs everywhere and you're requested to remove your shoes. But you end up taking them off and putting them back on so many times. Eventually it makes more sense just to leave them somewhere. So my sandals are currently somewhere in the temple. I don't even remember where I left them anymore, but I took them off at one point and just like there's no reason to put them back on because I'm just going to have to take them off again in a few minutes. But luckily this place is quite well cared for. There aren't any sharp stony areas, so you can walk around barefoot. Even I can with my tender feet. But I'm back at the entrance to the temple. Sort of walked around the entire interior and looked at everything. And I think with that, that'll be the end of my visit to the Thai Unity Temple. Yeah, I'm glad I came out here. It was just a nice little excursion. The rain has stayed away. I kept my eyes open for anyone on a tour or any desk where you could sign up for a tour, but I haven't seen anything like that. So I will have to leave the temple with all my questions, most of them unanswered. But yeah, it's a beautiful spot, quite interesting. Yeah, glad I came out here. And I'll see you in the next video from Mae Sot.